The whole premise of this motor is to see how much power we can make even with a power adder. But one of the things you want to do is take it apart like we've been doing. Now here's one little step, and to us it's kind of one of the most important, especially if you're going to add a blower or nitrous or even turbos, and that is ring gap. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the top and second ring, place them in the bores individually, and see what they gap at. Right now, just out of the engine, our biggest gap is 30 thousandths on the top and second, so we're going to try to get everything to meet that spec.
Simply place the ring into the cylinder and use the ring squaring tool. Then measure the gap. Out of all of the rings, we only had one gap that was tighter than 30 thousandths. Check it now.
Is that irometer or was that?
That was, no, well, I have a gauge here, but you said 5, so I went dead on 5 here.
There's a 30. Ready? Nice 30.
Imagine that. Next up, the crank gets a light polish with our Goodson crankshaft polishing tool. Both the main and rod journals are in fantastic shape. We didn't use a gridded belt at all, just the cork belt. The result? A smooth, shiny, clean surface. We'll give the engine another pass in the jet washer and begin assembly. One of the few new parts we're installing on this engine is a set of main bearings. The cost is under $80, and since the old bearings look kind of rough, it was well worth the expense. As always, we'll check main bearing clearance for all of the bearings. It varied between 20 and 22 10,000ths. Excellent. Before installing the rod and piston assemblies, lube the cylinders with break-in oil. We'll also lube the wrist pins as well as the rings. Using a ring compressor, they are gently tapped into place. The fasteners are torqued to 15 pound-feet, then 85 degrees on our Matco half-inch drive digital torque and angle meter. We wanted to do something a little bit different on the paint job, and we think this color does the trick nicely. It's Detroit Diesel Alpine Green. We replaced the stock cam with a CamMotion LS1 Stage 3 hydraulic roller. This is a mild performance cam that still works with stock components. The oil pump is shimmed in 3 places on the gear using 1.5 thousandths shims. This ensures proper alignment when tightened down. Since the stock valley plate was in really bad shape, we decided to use an ICT valley plate instead. The cylinder heads were installed with new stock torque-to-yield fasteners and torqued to 22 pound-feet initially. Then we used a torque angle meter to tighten the fasteners 2 rounds of 90 degrees. Finishing out the build is the valve train, oil pan, and one more aftermarket piece, a Holley dual-plane intake manifold. Any experienced welder knows that surface prep is the foundation for a great weld. Forney Industries makes that job easier with a full line of abrasives for welding and bodywork. Their 2-inch and 3-inch surface prep pads fit easily into tight spaces, and they are the perfect size for stripping and cleaning just the right amount of material to lay down a clean bead. The pads are available in coarse, medium, and fine finishes, and they attach to Forney's roll-lock backing pad for secure fit and quick changes. From cutting and grinding to sanding and buffing, there are literally hundreds of products to choose from. Visit ForneyIND.com to learn more.